Look in the mirror right now. Get up close, real close. Look at your cheeks, the sides of your nose, the skin under your eyes. Do you see them? Those tiny red lines, fine purple threads. Broken capillaries spreading across your skin like roots under glass. They started small. One little red mark on your cheek somewhere in your 50s. You barely noticed. Then there were two. Then a small patch. Now you cover them with foundation every morning. Or you avoid the unflattering bathroom light. Or you tell yourself, it is just rosacea, just sensitive skin, just genetics, just what happens after 60. Listen carefully, because what I am about to say is going to change the way you look at your own reflection. Those red veins on your face are not a cosmetic problem. They are a message. Your face is showing you, in red ink, what is happening inside an organ you cannot see and have not been thinking about. Those broken vessels on your cheeks are the visible proof that your liver is sending up a flare, and every cream, every laser session, every concealer stick you have ever used was aimed at the wrong place entirely. By the end of this video, you are going to know exactly why those veins are appearing, what mechanism is driving them, the 4 specific things you are doing every single day that are making them worse, and the protocol that addresses the actual cause, not the surface. You are going to look at your reflection differently tonight. And tomorrow morning, you are going to know what to do. If this channel has helped you, subscribe and help us reach 100,000 subscribers. There is no billing code for the kind of explanation I am about to give you. This channel is built on one principle. The system makes money when you stay sick, not when you get well. That is economics, not malice. But it means certain conversations only happen here. You have already tried things. I know you have. You have tried the green-tinted color correctors. You have tried laser at the dermatologist, $1,800 for one session. The redness came back 6 months later. You have tried niacinamide serum, vitamin K cream, the rosacea-targeted moisturizer the pharmacy clerk recommended. Maybe you went to a doctor and were told it is just couperose or just aging skin, handed a prescription for a topical antibiotic gel. 2 months in, no real change. The veins are still there. New ones are appearing. Here is why nothing has worked. Every one of those treatments is aimed at the surface of your skin. The cause is not on the surface. The cause is several layers deep in a completely different organ. You can paint over a water stain on your ceiling all day. The leaking pipe upstairs is going to keep dripping. Let me explain what you are actually looking at. Those red lines on your face have a medical name, telangiectasias. The word means dilated end vessels, the tiny capillaries at the very end of your circulatory tree. They are normally invisible because they are microscopic. When they enlarge and lose their tone, they push toward the surface of the skin and become visible. That is the diffuse thread-like pattern you see across both cheeks. There is also a more specific kind of mark, and this one matters more clinically. It is called a spider angioma or a spider nevus. It looks different from a simple broken capillary. It has a small red dot in the center with delicate red lines radiating outward, exactly like a spider's legs. Press the center with the tip of a clean pen for 2 seconds, then release. If the entire spider blanches white and refills from the center outward in a radiating pattern, that is a spider angioma. That kind of mark has a very specific clinical meaning, and 3 or more on the upper body, the chest, the shoulders, the upper arms, is one of the most reliable, visible signs of chronic liver strain. The third pattern is what most dermatologists will call rosacea, a diffuse network of fine red threads across both cheeks, the sides of the nose, sometimes the chin, and the area between the eyebrows. A real diagnosis of rosacea exists. But in a significant number of cases, especially after the age of 50, what is being treated as rosacea is actually telling you something about how your liver is processing certain hormones and toxins. The cream is suppressing the inflammation on the skin. It is not addressing the upstream load. Before I go further, pay close attention to 4 warning signs. If any of these are present alongside the visible veins on your face, this is not a video to watch later. This is a reason to call your doctor in the next few days. First, yellowing of the whites of your eyes. Stand in natural daylight near a window. Pull your lower eyelid down. look at the white of your eye. If the white has a faint yellow tinge, especially near the iris, that is jaundice, and it points to the liver under serious strain. Second, pain or fullness on the right side of your upper abdomen, just under the rib cage. Press there gently with your fingertips. Persistent tenderness or a feeling of heaviness in that exact spot is the location of your liver, and it is not a sensation to dismiss. Third, abdominal swelling that has appeared in the last few months and feels firm rather than soft. The kind that does not go away after using the bathroom. The kind that makes your belt tight even when you have lost weight elsewhere. Fourth, easy bruising. Small bumps producing large purple patches. The liver makes the proteins that allow your blood to clot, and when it slows down, ordinary contact with a kitchen counter leaves marks that take weeks to fade. If any of those four are present, stop watching and call your doctor. Ask for a basic liver panel, ALT-AST-GGT, alkaline phosphatase, bilirubin, albumin. These tests are inexpensive. They are widely available. They will tell you within 24 hours whether the liver is actually in trouble. If none of those red flags are present, then what you are seeing on your face is one of three patterns I described, and each one has a slightly different driver. Diffuse threads across the cheeks suggest hormone clearance is slowing. A cluster of broken capillaries along the sides of the nose, especially with a slightly reddened nose tip, points to chronic alcohol load, even moderate, responsible alcohol load over many years. True spider angiomas point to deeper liver dysfunction. Now consider someone I will call Eleanor, 63 years old, recently retired schoolteacher, came in convinced she had rosacea. She had been treated for rosacea for 2.5 years. 3 different prescription creams, 2 courses of oral antibiotics, 1 laser session. The redness across her cheeks would calm down for a few weeks, then return worse than before. I did not look at her face first. I asked about her routine. 2 glasses of red wine with dinner. Every night. My doctor told me it was heart healthy. A daily acetaminophen for arthritis in her hands. A multivitamin. A turmeric capsule. 3 or 4 glasses of orange juice during the day because she was trying to drink less soda. Dessert, most evenings. She had a sweet tooth. Her blood work showed exactly what I expected. ALT and GGT, 2 enzymes that rise when the liver is under chronic load, both elevated, not catastrophically. Not the kind of numbers that alarm a hurried general practitioner, but elevated. Her ferritin was high, a marker of stored inflammation. Her cholesterol was up. Her ultrasound showed mild fatty infiltration of the liver, the condition called non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, except in her case, the alcohol was contributing too. The veins on Eleanor's face were not rosacea. They were the visible smoke of a fire that had been smoldering inside her liver for years. Now, the mechanism. Follow this carefully because it changes everything. Your liver is a 2-stage filtration plant. Stage 1 is called phase 1 detoxification. It takes substances that are fat-soluble and toxic alcohol, medication residues, environmental chemicals, your own used hormones, and converts them into intermediate compounds. Some of those intermediate compounds are actually more reactive than the original substance. That is normal. Stage 2 is called phase 2 detoxification. It takes those reactive intermediates and binds them to molecules that allow them to be safely flushed out through bile and urine. Think of it like a wastewater treatment plant for a small city. Raw sewage comes in, the first tank breaks it into smaller particles. The second tank treats those particles so they can be released safely into the river. If the first tank is running at full speed but the second tank is overwhelmed, you get a backup. Intermediate sludge accumulates with nowhere to go, and if the system stays backed up long enough, it begins to overflow somewhere. In your body, that overflow has to go somewhere. The liver is a smart organ. It will not poison your heart or your brain. So it pushes the unprocessed load outward into the largest excretory organ you have, your skin. Specifically, it pushes that load into the smallest, most fragile blood vessels in the area of your body with the thinnest skin and the densest capillary network. That is your face. When those tiny capillaries on your face are repeatedly bathed in unprocessed metabolic load, half broken down hormones, partially metabolized alcohol, sugar-driven inflammatory compounds, they react. They dilate. The smooth muscle that normally controls their tone fails. The vessel wall thins. Eventually, that vessel stays open permanently. Now it is visible. Now you see it in the mirror. Multiply that by hundreds of vessels over years, and you have a network of red threads across both cheeks. There is one more piece, and it is critical: estrogen. Estrogen in both men and women is processed primarily by the liver. The liver breaks it down and ushers it out of the body through bile. When the liver is overloaded with other work, estrogen processing slows. And estrogen is one of the most powerful vasodilators your body produces. It makes blood vessels relax and stay open. Excess circulating estrogen, sitting in the bloodstream because the liver has not had time to clear it, finds its way to the small vessels in your skin and keeps them in a chronically dilated state. This is why some women notice their facial redness gets worse around the time their period would have come, even years after menopause, in a body that is not making much estrogen anymore. Because what matters is not just how much is produced, but how efficiently it is cleared. A small amount of estrogen that cannot be cleared is functionally the same as a larger amount that is being cleared normally. Men are not exempt. Men make estrogen too, in smaller amounts. When a man's liver slows down, that small amount stops being cleared properly, and the same vascular pattern appears on the face. Combined with another finding sometimes seen in men with significant liver strain, slight breast tissue development, called gynecomastia, it tells the same story from a different angle. Now, 3 quick self-tests. Free, immediate, and together they tell you a lot. Test 1, the spider press. Find the most visible spider-like red mark on your face, your neck, or your upper chest. Press the center firmly with the tip of a capped ballpoint pen for 2 full seconds. Release and watch closely. If the surrounding red threads disappear and then refill from the center outward in a radiating pattern, that is a spider angioma. One on a woman past menopause may not mean much. 3 or more, especially if some are appearing on your shoulders, chest, or upper arms, warrants a liver panel from your doctor. Test 2, the palm check. Turn your hands palms up and look at the fleshy area at the base of your thumb and the outer edge of your palm just below your pinky. In a healthy adult, those areas are slightly pink. If they are deeply blotchy red, almost like a sunburn, confined only to those 2 zones, that is called palmar erythema. It is one of the classic skin signs of chronic liver strain, and it appears for the same estrogen clearance reason we just discussed. Test 3, the eye check. Stand near a window in natural light. Look at the whites of your eyes in a mirror. Are they truly white? Are they slightly yellowed? Slight yellowing, especially near the iris, is an early sign of bilirubin accumulation. Bilirubin is the pigment your liver clears. When clearance slows, the yellow shows up first in the eyes, long before it shows up in the skin. Now, the 4 things you are very likely doing every day that are loading your liver and forcing it to push its overflow into your face. First, alcohol. I know you have heard it. Hear it precisely this time. Alcohol is processed by the same enzyme system that processes many medications, hormones, and dietary toxins. 2 glasses of wine per night, the standard moderate intake, occupies that enzyme system for several hours every evening. While the system is busy processing alcohol, everything else queues up. Hormones do not get cleared. Medication residues sit in circulation longer. The cumulative load on your facial capillaries goes up. After the age of 55, the liver's processing capacity is roughly 70% of what it was at 30. 2 glasses at 65 is the metabolic equivalent of 3 or 4 glasses at 35. Second, fructose, the sugar in fruit juice, in soda, in sweetened yogurt, in natural energy bars, in honey added to coffee, in agave syrup at the health food store. Fructose is metabolized exclusively by the liver. Glucose can be used by every cell in your body. Fructose has only one address. And in significant amounts, especially in liquid form like juice, it overwhelms the liver and gets converted directly into liver fat. That fat is the foundation of fatty liver disease, which is now the most common chronic liver condition in adults over 50 in the United States. Fruit juice is not health food. A glass of orange juice has nearly the same liver impact as a glass of soda. Third, daily over-the-counter pain medication. Acetaminophen, the active ingredient in many common pain relievers, is processed by the liver and produces a toxic intermediate that has to be neutralized in phase 2 detoxification. Taken occasionally, it is fine. Taken every single day for joint pain over years, it adds a constant load. Many people in their 60s and 70s are taking it daily without thinking because the bottle says it is safe for general use. Fourth, industrial seed oils heated repeatedly. The deep fryer oil at restaurants reused for days. The corn, soybean, and sunflower oils used in most packaged baked goods, crackers, and convenience foods. When these polyunsaturated oils are heated and reheated, they form oxidized lipid compounds the liver has to deactivate. A diet heavy in restaurant fried food and packaged baked goods means a constant stream of those compounds across the liver every single day. Now, the foods that actually support both phases of liver detoxification: first, bitter greens. Dandelion greens, arugula, radicchio, endive, mustard greens. The bitter compounds in these vegetables stimulate bile production. Bile is how your liver carries the products of detoxification out of the body. Without enough bile flow, even a healthy liver gets backed up. A small salad of bitter greens with olive oil and lemon 4 or 5 times a week is one of the most underrated tools in liver support. Cost almost nothing. Second, beets. Beets contain a compound called betaine that supports the methylation pathways your liver uses in phase 2 detoxification. They are also a powerful natural source of nitric oxide, which helps the small blood vessels in your skin recover their tone. One small beet, roasted or grated raw into a salad 3 times a week. Third, sulfur-rich foods. Garlic, onions, leeks, cabbage, broccoli, cauliflower, eggs. Sulfur is a critical building block for glutathione, the most important antioxidant your liver uses to neutralize toxins. Without enough dietary sulfur, glutathione levels drop and phase 2 detoxification slows. Half a cup of cruciferous vegetables daily, plus 2 whole eggs, plus 1 or 2 cloves of fresh garlic in your cooking, that is your sulfur baseline. Fourth, choline. Choline is essential for moving fat out of the liver. The richest food source is the egg yolk. 2 whole eggs a day, not just whites. The whole egg provides a meaningful dose. The yolk is not the enemy. The yolk is the part that helps your liver clear fat. Here is the exact daily protocol: 5 parts, 3 minutes of active effort plus the dietary changes. Morning, the moment your feet hit the floor, 1 full glass of warm water with the juice of half a fresh lemon. Not bottled lemon juice, fresh. Drink it slowly, over 2 or 3 minutes before you put anything else in your stomach, including coffee. The warm water gently stimulates the gallbladder, which has been holding bile all night, to release that bile into the intestines. The lemon's natural acids support that release. This is the cheapest and most reliable way to wake your liver up. Mid-morning, your breakfast: 2 whole eggs cooked any way you like, with sautéed greens or half an avocado on the side. No sweetened cereal, no fruit juice, no pastry. The protein and fat from the eggs stabilize blood sugar for the next 4 hours and give your liver the choline and sulfur it needs. Afternoon, the bitter green salad. Mixed bitter greens, a handful of walnuts, half a roasted beet, olive oil, lemon, a pinch of salt. Eat it before, not after, your main meal. The bitterness primes bile flow for whatever comes next. Evening, replace 1 alcoholic drink, if you have one, with a cup of dandelion root tea. 2 teaspoons of dried dandelion root in hot water steeped for 15 minutes. It is bitter. That is the point. The bitterness is what activates the digestive and biliary response. If you cannot quit alcohol entirely, cut your intake in half, 1 glass instead of 2, and replace the second glass with the tea. Before bed 3 nights a week, lie flat on your back and place a warm, not hot water bottle wrapped in a thin towel over the right side of your upper abdomen, just under your rib cage. Leave it there for 15 minutes while you read or listen to something calm. The gentle warmth increases blood flow through the liver tissue, which helps it process its workload more efficiently. This is free, simple, and surprisingly effective. 3 nights a week is plenty. Eleanor went home with that protocol. She cut the wine to 1 glass 3 nights a week instead of 2 glasses every night. She replaced the daily acetaminophen with a topical anti-inflammatory cream for her hands. She stopped the orange juice. She started the lemon water mornings, the bitter green salads, the egg breakfasts. 6 weeks later, she came back. The redness across her cheeks had not vanished, but it was visibly faded. The patches that had been deepest had softened. Her blood work, and this matters because it confirms the mechanism is real, her ALT had dropped by a third, her GGT had nearly normalized. By 6 months, the diffuse network on her cheeks was reduced to a few visible threads. 2 of the more prominent spider marks had disappeared entirely. She had not had laser, she had not used another cream. She had taken the load off her liver, and her face had quietly responded. Here is what to do tonight, before you go to bed. 5 concrete steps. 1. Go to a window with natural daylight and look at the whites of your eyes. If you see yellow, call your doctor this week. 2. Perform the spider press test on the most visible red mark on your face or chest. If it refills from the center outward, it is a spider angioma. 3 or more on your upper body warrants a liver panel. 3. Count how many alcoholic drinks you have had in the last 7 days. Cut that number in half this coming week. If the number is more than 12, the cut needs to be more aggressive. 4. Pour out any fruit juice in your refrigerator. Replace it with sparkling water and a slice of lemon. This single change, sustained for 30 days, has more impact on your liver than any supplement on the market. 5. Set a clean glass of water and half a fresh lemon on your kitchen counter tonight, ready for tomorrow morning. Drink it before coffee. Do this for 30 days and observe your skin. One thing I want to ask you directly. The processing capacity of the liver declines measurably with each decade past 50. The veins on your face, the spider marks, the diffuse redness, they all accelerate after 60, and they accelerate at different rates depending on diet, climate, water quality, and regional drinking patterns. How old are you, and where are you watching this from? What city? What country? Write both of them in the comments below. I want to know who is in this audience because that information directly shapes what gets covered next. The person who reads your comment may be the one who recognizes their own face in what you wrote and decides to do something about it. Sharing where you are watching from helps this kind of explanation reach the people who need it most. If you found one thing useful in this video, send it to someone you care about who has been quietly fighting redness on their cheeks for years and never got a real explanation. They have the same liver, they have the same mechanism, they deserve the same answer. The face you see in the mirror tomorrow morning is going to be the same face. But the way you understand it is different now. Those red threads are not your skin betraying you. They are your liver communicating with you in the only language it has left. You did not need a more expensive cream. You needed someone to tell you what the cream could not fix.